I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to create a lookalike audience with Facebook ads. What's up everybody, my name is Jordan, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys why it is super important to create a lookalike audience when you are creating Facebook ads and why you want to be using this targeting. So I'm going to be showing you guys over the shoulder, step by step, exactly how to create a lookalike audience inside of Facebook ads. But before I get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Giselle Marenko. Thanks for doing this, Jordan. I appreciate your comment. And I also want to give a shout out to Cristobal Cruz, who is a new subscriber to the channel. I always appreciate everybody who drops the simplest support, even if you guys are just giving a simple thumbs up. It always helps the channel out, so I really appreciate it. And if you want a shout out in the next video, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, and then drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll give you guys a shout out in the next video. So let's go ahead and get started. So why is it so important to create a lookalike audience with Facebook ads? Now, when you are going out to create ads for your clients, especially with Facebook, you're probably going to start, especially in the beginning, and even if once you do start getting some data, you are going to be targeting interests, behaviors, demographics, and a whole bunch of interests that Facebook gives you, right? And most of the time it's you and your client coming together and guessing who you should be targeting, right? And obviously the better you are at targeting your ideal client, the better cost per lead is going to be, the more leads you're going to get for your client, and that's how you're going to really be getting great results, right? So eventually, let's say you do target a good interest and you start really getting good results for your client, and then maybe a couple weeks later, months go by, your interest, it starts to fatigue out. So it comes to a point in time where the results just isn't as consistent anymore, right? Eventually it dies out, the cost per lead goes up, and then you have to figure out a new way to target your ideal audience, right? So you can't just keep targeting one interest and expect that to work for a lifetime, right? Well, this is where a lookalike audience is going to be super helpful to you, because you don't need to, it takes out all the guesswork. You don't need to guess and think about what interest is going to work for your client, because Facebook is going to use, the entire data that you give it to go out there and find people who are similar to that lookalike audience. And so, Facebook is going to go out and automatically target people who are already interested, or who is most likely that's going to be interested in your services or products or whatever it is that you're trying to advertise, right? So, whenever you're targeting lookalike audience, you are most likely going to get way much better results. Your cost per lead is going to be better. Overall, across the board, numbers are just going to look better, just because your targeting is way much more on point, right? So, for example, if you are selling a mouse, right, a keyboard and a mouse as a product, and you're making sales, right? You got a couple sales, you have a list of customers, and now you take that list of customers and you give it to Facebook. You tell Facebook, hey, I want you to go out and find more people who are willing, that are most likely willing to purchase my mouse and keyboard, right? So instead of Facebook guessing with your interests and stuff like that, Facebook's going to go out and find more people who are, most likely to purchase your mouse and keyboards, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys now exactly how to create a lookalike audience. As you can see here, I'm in my, not my Facebook ad dashboard here. It's actually a client. And so anytime I'm here in the monitor sharing my screen, is I'm going to be showing you guys something cool, a cool little trick. So we're gonna get down into pull up our sleeves, get in the dirt, and get busy. Anytime I'm sharing my screen, I'm gonna be showing you guys some cool little hacks and ninja tricks. All right, so as you can see here, we have Facebook ad campaigns rolling and things like that. Now, a little bit of background of this client right here, in this particular client, is that they are a school for lawyers, right? So it's like a college, some type of school, college education program, where every year or once a month they host some type of virtual seminar or something like that, and they want to target people who are going to be interested in their seminar. So their ideal customers or students is like new lawyers, things like that. So we want to target that, right? And with Facebook, sometimes you're kind of limited on what you could target as far as interests and job titles and things like that. You'll start to notice that Facebook doesn't have every single job title for you to pick from. So we are kind of limited when it comes to lawyers and things like that with job titles. So it's really best that I actually got an email list from this particular client. So whenever you're working with a client, you're running Facebook ads for them, the first thing that you want to ask them is to see if they have some type of email list now, right? So, the bigger the email list, the more effective Facebook is going to have data on, and it's going to be more effective campaign. They're going to go out and be able to find more people. So the bigger the email list, the more data you feed Facebook, the better results you're going to get, pretty much, right? So I actually reached out to this client, and they gave me an email list of about 5,000 emails. I'm guessing that's how many students they've had in the past. So reach out to your client. Not every client is going to have thousands of emails and things like that. But, even if you have, I think the minimum might be 300 to get started, and that would work. But even, I would say, obviously the more the better. 1,000 is a solid number to be at. But, like I said, not everyone's going to be at 1,000. So work with what you got and start there. All right. So I have my email list and stuff ready, and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys now. So you need to log into your business manager, your Facebook business manager, and go to the ad account of your client. If you're running it for yourself, then all you would need to do is go into your ad account, right? So we're going to go ahead and click on business tools right over here, and we're going to click on audiences, okay? So once we're inside audiences, this is where you can start creating custom audiences, lookalike audiences. You can start retargeting, create an audience to retarget. You can create a whole audience where you can retarget people who has visited your website, engage with your Instagram, your Facebook page, whatever it is. You can retarget, create a whole group of these people, and essentially retarget them with ads, okay? So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to create a custom audience, lookalike audience, and all that. You don't need to worry. This is gonna be showing you guys everything, all right? So as you can see here, I've already created the a custom audience of my email list, right? So this was the email list I was talking about, 5,000 emails. And so this is our warm audience, right? These are people who are past students, right? Past customers, I would say. So we're pretty much running ads to this audience right here, past members email list. And essentially we're just retargeting our students and trying to get them back to our new and future updated virtual classes, right? In this case. And then as you can see right above that, I created a lookalike US 1% past members email list. Now, this is me telling Facebook, hey, here's my email list of 5,000 students. Now I want you to go out and find more people who are willing to, attend my class that are the same as these people, and go out there and do that, right? So Facebook's going to take this data, go out and find people that are just as similar to my email list, right? So that's how we're going to do that. And as you can see here, the size here is 2.3 million people who Facebook thinks are is our ideal target audience. Okay, so I don't have to do any of the thinking, any guesswork or anything like that. Facebook's gone out and done all that for me. All right, so and as you can see here, it says not available. This is just for, I believe, is privacy purposes. If you are feeding Facebook data, giving them an email list, it's usually going to say not available, so don't worry about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click on create audience, and first you need to create a custom audience. Okay, so this is where you can target your website visitors and target people who's visited specific pages on your website and things like that. But if we are doing an email list, we're going to want to click on customer lists. All right, from here is just going to be some data on what what type of data Facebook expects you to have on your list. So that's all going to be right here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click next. Does your column have a customer value? If it does, you can just click yes. If it doesn't, you can click no. In this case, I don't have a customer value, so I'm just going to click no. And I'll go ahead, I'll click next. Now this is here where you can drag and drop your email list. So let's go ahead and drag and drop right there. TLC Defense is the name of my email list. It contains about 5,000 emails of my target audience that I'm trying to target. These are past students, right? So I want to find more people who are likely to become my student, okay? And so from there, all you need to do is name your audience. I'll probably name it, whatever, whatever this type of audience is. So this audience is probably, past seminar attendees, right? Attendees email list. Okay, so I'll name it something like that. You can name it whatever you want, as long as you can identify what type of audience it is. Then that's how you would do. So then from there, all you need to do is click next. Okay, and from there, Facebook's going to start populating data and use that data to try to create an audience out of that. Now I'm not going to go ahead and click next because I've already created an audience for that. So for you would just click next. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel because I've already created it right here, this custom audience. Now, one thing to note, guys, is that it's going to take it might take, 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So don't, click next, create your audience and expect that it's going to have a number for you right away, or it's going to give you a size, going to populate a size and when it's going to be available, right? So usually it takes about 24 or 48 hours to use your custom audience or lookalike audience, right? So just keep that in mind, right? So after we have uploaded our custom audience, okay, now we want to create a lookalike audience. We want to tell Facebook to go out and find more people that is in this list, right? So if you have customers, you have past clients, past patients, whatever it is, and you want to target more people like those, then this is how you're going to do that. So we just created this custom audience, right? So you want to go ahead and just check that box right there, that audience we just created, and we're going to want to click on this 3 dot right here and click on create lookalike audience. It's super simple, right? From here, it's going to say select your lookalike source. We checked it, so it's going to say past members email list. That is our source, right? So whatever you named it, that should pop up right here. Now, something to note is that it might not pop up right away for you because when I first uploaded this list, it took about 24 hours for my source to actually show here. So if you don't see it, then just give it a little bit more time, and it should pop up within the 24-hour mark. All right. So select your audience location. Now, depending on where you're, who you're selling your product or services to, then you're going to want to target that, right? So if you are an e-commerce store selling a product and you're selling it to worldwide, then, you're going to want to target your countries, right? So if you want to just target the big 5, so if you want to target just, the United States, right? You can target the United States. If you want to target Australia, target Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, right? And Canada, right? That's the big 5. Boom. And you have all 5 locations, right? So Facebook's going to go out and find people who are similar to your email list in these 5 countries. And as you can see here, we have 3.4 million people who Facebook thinks is very, has the same type of interests and behaviors and things like that, who they think is going to be our ideal audience, in regards to our custom audience and data that we've given them. All right. So another thing I've noted is that when you are creating a lookalike audience and you put all 5 countries in like this, like I've just done, and if I click on create audience, sometimes it'll give you an error. And what I found is that if you keep receiving this error, it's usually a bug with Facebook, and a workaround with that is just do one country at a time. So create a lookalike audience for each one country at a single time. All right. So don't target all 5 countries in one audience like this. Just separate it out and break it up into, just United Kingdom, click create audience, and then create another lookalike audience and just do Canada and so forth. All right. So in this case, however, my this client right here, their students are only in the US. So they only want to target people in the US. So obviously we're going to take out the other 4 countries. And as you can see here, Facebook has now narrowed it down to 2.4 million people. All right, so Facebook says, hey, based on this custom audience that you gave us, we have found, we're guessing that you're going to be able to reach 2.4 million people who are similar to the data that you gave us. All right, so from here you can see the bars 0 to 1%, 0 to 2%, 3%, all the way up to 10%. As you can see, each time I raise it, we're going to Facebook is going to increase our estimated reach, right? So if I put it at 8%, then Facebook says that, hey, there's about 19.2 million people that are closely related to your thing. Now, what is this, right? So 0 to 1%, this is going to be the 1% of population who is most similar to your audience. And as you go out, you're going to start targeting a more broad audience, where Facebook still thinks they're related to your custom audience, but not really, right? So 2%, all right, yeah, whatever, it's still good. 3%, and so as you go all the way out here, you're starting to reach a really broad audience. And so I normally like to just keep it 0 to 1% when you're first starting out. Once you kind of fatigue that out, that's when you can go 1 to 2%, or maybe 0 to 2%, right? So depending on how tight you want to keep your audience, how close you want to keep your audience related to your custom audience, then you would do it right here. But if you're just starting out, just stick with 0 to 1%, and that should be more than enough. And then later on, you can always play around and reach a little bit more broad audience that Facebook thinks is still similar to our thing. So for best results, especially when you're just starting out, go ahead and just stick with 0 to 1%, and that will do. So from there, you're gonna hit create audience, and so from there, this is gonna pop up. Right, so we created a lookalike audience based in the US of 1%, right? 1% of the population in the US. These are the people that are going to be most likely super similar to our data, in our case, our email list that we have provided to Facebook, right? So from here, it's going to take about, anywhere from 2 to 3 days before Facebook is going to give you a size here, 2.3 million. Now, the number that you see while creating that lookalike audience, it can change, right? It's not going to be exact. But in this case here, we did get a size of 2.3 million people that Facebook can show our ad to when we go ahead and target this lookalike audience. Okay, so it's going to take about 2 to 3 days before you see the size, so don't worry about it. You just got to do a little bit of waiting before you see how many people is inside your lookalike audience. And if it's too small, you can always expand the targeting a little bit more. You can go 0 to 2%, 0 to 3% to really get that size up, and so you can give Facebook a little bit more leeway to show your ads to people. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now and show you how to target these new audiences that we just created. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back into our ads manager here, and from here we're going to click on create. All right, so we're going to create a new campaign, and you're going to be able to target your new audiences in the ad group. All right, so select your objective, right? I'm just going to go with traffic because I want to send these people to our website. All right, so pick the one that best fits you, and then you can play around with this, name your campaign, blah blah blah. I'm going to hit continue, and so in here, once you've named your campaign, you can select whether you want campaign budget optimization or not. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. It's really up to you how you want to do that. And so you can select your daily budget and all that, but I'm not going to be going through that. I just want to show you guys how to pick that custom audience that we've created, right? So here once you're in your ad set, right? So I'm going to go out and just show you from the very beginning, so you could see everything, right? So here's a new campaign that we just created. I check marked it, and in your ad set is where you're going to be able to target those audiences that we just created, right? So I click on edit. You can mess around with all that, scroll down a little bit, and it's going to be in your audiences. Okay, so from here you can see here our audience, our custom audience, right? Past member email list. Now this is the email list that we gave to Facebook saying, hey, here's our list of emails of our past clients, right? So if I click on that, Facebook's going to tell you, reach, about how many reaches you're going to get a day with this $20 budget. So $20 is going to get us about 244 to 700 people per day, right? So now one thing to note here, guys, is that this customer list, like I said, I want to reiterate this to you guys, is that we are retargeting, right? So with this email list, what we're telling Facebook right now when we target this list is that we're retargeting, we're showing our ads to people who have been students of our seminar, right? People, past customers, clients, whatever it is, right? So this is we're retargeting our warm audience, right? So if that's what your objective is, if you want to retarget your past clients, then that's what you would do. You would target your custom audience, the one that you uploaded. Now, if you want to, target new people, right? You don't want to target your past customers. You want to target somebody new who is this, has the same trait, who is still our ideal target audience based off of the data we gave them. Then we're going to go ahead and target that lookalike audience that we created, right? So once it's done, so as you can see here, it says lookalike US 1% past members email list. That's our source. And so this is what we're doing is we're telling Facebook, hey, I want you to go out and find people who are similar to the email list that I gave you, right? I want you to find the top 1% that is the closest to my ideal target audience, and I want you to go out there and show my ads to, right? So as you can see here, it's going to show our potential reach is 2.3 million, and we're going to reach about anywhere between 1,200 to 3,400 people per day, and we're going to get about 46 to 135 clicks on our link. All right, so that's pretty much how you create a lookalike audience. That's how you're going to create a custom audience. And this is super powerful because it takes out all the guesswork. You don't need to, figure out and think about, oh, what is their target audience? Like, how do I show my ad to, my target audience, their target audience, whoever they're trying to target, right? So by using a lookalike audience, custom emails, or retargeting your warm audience and using a lookalike audience to get new cold audience, it takes out all the guesswork. It makes things that much easier, and this is why Facebook ads is really powerful when it comes to this. I really like their ability to be able to use data and go out and find a whole new audience that is similar to our past clients and customers, right? So things are it's just way much easier that way. So hopefully this video has been super helpful to you. This is how you create a lookalike audience, custom audience for Facebook ads. If this video was helpful to you whatsoever, please drop a big thumbs up because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps a small YouTuber like me grow. And if you have any questions or anything like that, put your questions in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. And if you want to connect with other digital marketers, I have a free Facebook group that links in the description. And if you want to learn how I was able to scale my agency from 0 to 6 figures without any experience or knowledge, I put together a little free training. And that link is going to be in the description. So everything you want to know, everything you want to get, everything's in the link in the description. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.